Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Degeneracy Reborn. This is the EZA Allies PlayStation 5 betting special results show. We are your hosts, and I am here with His Royal Hypeness, Michael P. Huber. How are you feeling, Mikey? We got a lot of scores to settle tonight, don't we?
Quite a few. I'm doing great. Still hanging out back of the casino. I saw you already hightailed it out of here, Don. What the hell?
A little bit. As you know, when the heat starts to get a little too hot, sometimes we like to jump offshore. I'm coming to you live from the Cayman Islands, just trying to relax a little because I've got to write some big checks in my near future, as you know.
All right, let's dive in.
We're going to go through the wagers one by one. And just so you know, we come upon a wager where Michael and myself can't come to a unanimous agreement. This is when the council intervenes, okay? Who is the council? An anonymous group of back alley gentlemen, Michael?
Back alley gentlemen, consultants, if you will.
They consult anonymously. They return to us their indisputable decision, from which the winnings or losings are then rendered, okay?
Absolutely.
And, having said that, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you out there. As you know, we had a massive amount of evidence submitted, arguments made. These betting specials are never clean and easy, but they're certainly a lot of fun, aren't they, Michael?
Bets change on a dime. They can be messy.
So as you know, though, Huber and I, we have a wager on our own, going above and beyond this. We selected teams from these contestants, okay? Now raise it up, Huber. We've got high stakes on the line here, okay? And depending whose team ends up winning more Don Bucks, Huber's or myself, we're going to have to open up these envelopes and reveal what the wager is that the loser will have to pay off. Let me make one last thing clear before we get into the wagers, okay? This is how the return on the wagers work. You bet 100, for example, on a bet. Let's say it has 2-1 odds. That means you win $200. That means you receive your 100 back plus your 200 winnings, okay? So a bet of $100 on a 2-1 odd is going to return $300. Just so it's clear, going in makes sense.
Let's do it. Round one, neither Ghost of Tsushima nor The Last of Us 2 will be the first presentation. We saw a little montage, we saw some of these games, but the first presentation was none other than Spider-Man Miles frickin' Morales.
And no question there. I think the only thing that caught us off guard maybe a little bit was there wasn't a host that was going to be presenting it in this way we maybe expected, but certainly without a doubt, the first thing to be presented was Spider-Man. I don't think there was a lot of question there, right?
No doubt about it.
Let's look at how that paid off for our contestants, okay? Now this was a low odds, 2-1, as you can see, but almost everyone threw a pile of Don Bucks on it and looking to make some money. Let's look at how those payments paid off for them. And there it is, Michael. Massive payouts across the board. Anything that sticks out to you on this one?
Well, what sticks out is that Ian flew by this bet, skipped it. I don't know what that's about. Easy money. Leaving easy money on the table. Good old Damiani, huge payout. Will that pay off is the question. He took the safe bet, the easy odds, but we've got a long road ahead of us.
Okay, Huber, next bet. Now, little did we expect that this one would be a doozy. This was a bit of an argument, a bit of a knockdown, drag-out fight. Max Zoom call participants on screen on a single grid will exceed 15.
First, play the video, Don. Let's see the evidence first. Let's see the thing in question, and then we'll throw our 2 cents in here.
Yeah, so here we're seeing the video in question, okay? And now this define participating in a Zoom call single grid. You could go one way or the other. What are you feeling on this?
There's definitely more than 15 people. Now, for those that have watched along for these betting specials, there's one element to betting: the spirit of the bet. The spirit of the bet. Now, when you go blow your nose, you just grab a Kleenex. Well, it's a tissue. But we just say Kleenex because that's the way it is. Well, Zoom has taken over our lives in these last few months. So the spirit of the bet, if that isn't Zoom, if that's Skype or whatever video conferencing software you're using, I think the spirit of the bet stands and it counts.
You know, Huber, I got to agree with you on this one, even though they're not having maybe a unified conversation and we can't prove that it's Zoom. Zoom is the Ziploc bags of sandwich bags, as you said. It's the Scotch tape, it's the Kleenex. And so this is representative of a Zoom call. However, there's also a small piece of evidence I'd like to present to you now. As you know, Ian was the only one that wagered on this. Here it is.
Okay.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're going to do one of those things where it's like, you know, at the end of something, they've got the staff from something, and they're all on there popping in saying, like, thanks, looking forward to the future of gaming or something. There's like 50 of them. That's my hope.
And that's it, Huber. That pretty much put it over the top for me. I mean, he called it. He called it
Spirit
out.
of the bet.
Let's see how that paid off for our friend Ian. As you know, he was the only one willing to go out on the line, and he put $100 on 4-1. Here it is. And so he was the only one to walk away.
$500 payday.
500 Don bucks.
Should have risked it all, Ian. All right, round 3 as we go. There will be a next-gen game announced to be free. This was, like so many bets, a tricky one. Astro's Playroom, Don. What do you think about this?
This is tricky, Huber, because the language on the bet, again, is a little nebulous, okay?
It is.
Presented to be free. Now, look, in this presentation, they did not inform you that this was free. Immediately after the presentation, the information was put out in press releases that this game would be free, preloaded on your PlayStation 5. Am I correct?
Correct.
But nowhere in the presentation itself was it presented as free. So I had to err on the side of this does not count. Are you with me on this or what? Huber, how are you feeling?
You know, I'm with you. I'm thinking of like when I buy a computer and it comes with Minesweeper. It's not a game. It's part of the guts. Part of the guts of the system, if you will.
I mean, if they would have said in text, all they had to simply do to me to push it over the top and the other way was just to say free, pre-installed on your PlayStation. If I just inform the viewer there in the presentation, would that have been enough?
I think it would have been because it separates it from the PS5.
Look at this 5-1 odds. It was right down the center, and almost everyone threw on at least something.
Blood went big. And it did not pay off.
It went big, and there you see it. They all got busted and disgusted on this one, and they all got burned big. So at least we got a little something back on this one, right? Moving on, here's a fun one.
Horizon 2's subtitle will have over 8 letters. Probably the most straightforward bet we got, Don.
Yeah, not a lot of questioning here. I mean, you see the clear Roman numeral 2 as a number, and that sort of the words after that are what's going to qualify as the subtitle. You know, you could argue one way or the other how much of a subtitle is. Again, spirit of the bet, I think it's pretty clear. This is a subtitle, and it's over 8 letters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did have some side action. It should be noted with Brad here, where I thought there'd be a single word over 8. Interesting that forbidden does come over 8, but there was a second word there. So Brad's going to clean up on that side action, unfortunately.
Win some, you lose some, Donnie.
That's it. So let's see how this paid off for everyone, okay? Ben and Brad both went in on it for 100 at 6-1 odds. And so as you can see, holy smokes, they both got a return of 700 Don bucks on this. That's going to put them ahead, get them right back into the lead of the pack on this. Next up, solid state drive will be said over 7 times. Now, look at that. We got burned on this one. We were wrong. What can I say? We were wrong and we were very wrong. It doesn't happen.
You know what? We got hustled on this, Don. Sony's out here pumping up the odds, hyping up their solid straight drive, messing with the books. There's some shenanigans going on here from Sony, man.
And we took the hook, line, and sinker on this one. The line was so ridiculously high on this at 7. I don't even think I heard it spoken once.
We'll have to circle back to this bet maybe when they do an unboxing video and they take out the guts.
There you go. Maybe we can win some of our money back there. But look at this. Ben in for 100, Blood in for 100. They laid down some Don bucks because that 7-1, I think, was calling to them. But unfortunately for them, it got them right in the billfold and it got them bad.
Next up, moving right along, Donnie, we will hear a variation. Before we even begin, remember, spirit of the bet. We will hear a variation of the phrase transports you into the game world under 3 times. Now, spirit of the bet is very, very important for this one. Don, before we even begin, roll the evidence.
You got it, Huber. All right, everybody, count along now as we look at these submissions of evidence, okay? See if you think these are yay or nay.
PS5 has inspired developers to create new experiences that are transformative in how they look, sound, and feel.
What do you think, Huber?
Absolutely.
That's 100% in, right?
100%.
That's one. That's one, okay?
100%.
Here's another.
More atmospheric, immersive worlds for players to explore.
Immersive worlds, atmospheric, there's that word.
Immersive, transporting us, immersing. Another word for transporting. We are there because of the immersion.
The immersion kicks it in again, that's 2. That safely count, let's keep going.
今までに見たことのない東京の魅力を見て、聞いて、感じることができます。
See, hear, and feel the charm of Tokyo never seen before.
See, hear, and feel. Transporting you to the streets of Tokyo, courtesy of Mikami.
Very clear cut, I think. What's next?
Tell stories, make worlds, create gameplay that I think will truly captivate the player and really surprise quite a few people.
Create gameplay that captivates the player. What do you think?
This one's pretty borderline for me, Don. Captivates the player. I mean, you can look at something without being there, and it would still captivate you.
This one we could go either way on, so let's see what's next.
Freeform immersive gameplay, a surreal player-driven story smashed together.
Immersive gameplay, free-form immersive gameplay. What do you think, Huber?
Again, he's about to transport us to the game world with his immersive gameplay, but he holds back. I think he holds back. I think if he had one more lean in there, again, this one is a little dicey.
We have 3 yes, 2 maybe, last one. Let's hear it.
It's an emotionally engaging story where rescuing is rewarding, failure is devastatingly hilarious, and the memories should last you a lifetime.
If the memories last you a lifetime, is that transporting you to a game world? I don't know.
No.
You're not transported if you have permanent memory of it?
Again, I can spectate it and have the memories. Was I there? Was I not there? I don't know.
Yeah, so the way you and I were looking at it, maybe 3 of those 6 count, which would have brought it to a push. But, we felt the right thing to do on this was put it to the council, let everyone have a vote, and it turned out they were unanimous against us, Michael, okay? So sometimes, maybe we get it wrong, I don't know, but in this case, the players reap the rewards. Let's take a look at this. Even on 3-1 odds, it looks pretty nice, yeah?
It does. Brad getting paid Ben and Blood right behind with a nice $400 payday, and even Damiani getting a little action with 200.
Little something for almost everyone. Now here's a fun one, Huber.
Something or someone will be presented on a pedestal with fog effects. This was a highly debated, highly contentious bet. This was debated. This went to the council. This went so far outside of the council, we needed to hire additional consultants to clear things up.
Okay, so the footage in question, we have 2 articles of evidence we'd like to present to you tonight, okay? The first one comes from, what was this? Destruction All-Stars?
Destruction All-Stars.
Destruction All-Stars. We have some slowed down footage here. As you can see, cars on pedestals clearly. Is this fire? Is this fog? Is it smoke effects? A little bit of everything. What do you think, Hubert? Does this count as a pedestal with fog?
So to me, this is not fog. This is smoke, and there is a difference. This is clearly hazy because of the explosion, because of the fire. I do not agree that this is fog.
You don't see any independent fog being, and I'm either way on this one. I could really say, yeah, maybe it's a tough thing to say for sure.
See all that right there? That's just the flames.
Yeah, I could see that. I think you sort of convinced me of that yeah, this any smoke effects you're seeing are being created by the pyrotechnics, yes? So we have the second piece of evidence now, which I feel was a little more convincing, coming from the Village trailer, okay? This is the one that got me in the corner saying, yes, something was presented on a pedestal with fog. How much clearer could it be? But it wasn't that clear after all, was it, Huber?
It was not clear. I'm sure this is going to be hotly debated for years to come. But again, we debated it with the council and the consultants. And what did the consultant have to tell us, Don?
We had to seek outside game developer as a consultant, and they gave us this quote. If you want my expert opinion, that counts. There is clearly atmospheric depth fog, which is absolutely an effect hitting the background trees. That's a something, and it's on a pedestal, and it's a fog effect. So they said, yes, 100%. They then forwarded me this Unreal Engine atmospheric fog user guide. I mean, who has the time to go through this, right, Huber? I mean, it's you got to kind of take their expert.
I leave that to the experts.
You take their expert opinion and you run with it in this case, and so we have to reward it, and we have to say, yes, this counts.
Yep, we honor that. We honor the council. We did our due diligence, Don.
We absolutely did. They absolutely did. And look at this, Ben.
Ben Moore with a sneaky 100 Don bucks here.
And this is your guy, am I right, Huber? You got this. You got Ben on your team, on your squad.
I do. Fortunately, in this case, I do.
It's gonna be massive as 9-1 odds. Return Ben 1,000 Don bucks off of a 100 Don buck wager. Wow! That pedestal in the fog. Put Ben up on a pedestal without the fog. I don't know how you'd word it.
Big payday.
Massive game changer, and coming off of a council decision. No doubt will bring controversial arguments for years to come on this.
And Ben is locked and loaded and ready. Ben is ready to go to court. He already said he has his lawyer on retainer. He's ready to argue this forever. So if this is still an issue, he's ready to go. But again, the council and the consultant are law, and I don't see a problem with it, Don.
No, we'll see if it gets appealed in the future, but for now, Ben's got to be pretty happy with the decision that's come down in his side for a big win. Next up, an easy one, Huber. Silent Hill will reveal itself. Oh, man.
An easy one, but a sad one, Don. It really hurts to lose this one, you know?
This one hurt. This was one of those instances, one of those bets where you've got a whole bunch of dreamers coming together, betting with their hearts, laying it on the line. Anything can happen in this circumstance, and you kind of want it to come through for them.
This is where I would have put all my money, Don, if I was playing. I would have let it all ride on this. I'm a dreamer, and I would have paid the price.
Let's take a look at how much they were willing to lay out on the line, because we certainly did not see any of Silent Hill, not even. Look at this.
Konami just cleaning house. What is that? 850 Don bucks straight to Konami corporate.
Busted and disgusted if I've ever seen it before. They certainly got burned big time. They're going to be holding on to their money clips a little tighter after this one, I think. All right, Huber. Well, here we go. Moving on. Now, this is where it got interesting, okay? The number 9 bet is a wild time. Let's skip over number 9. We're going to circle back to it.
Keep it on pause for a second.
We're going to pause number 9. We're going to jump ahead to 10. Okay, this is there will be a Nintendo nod. As you know, no one took the bait on this one. No one laid down any Don bucks, and for good reason, because there was no nod that any of us noticed. Is that right?
You know, there was no Nintendo nod. Sony playing selfish.
There was nothing to be made for anyone on that one. So we'll move right along to the 11 bet. Microsoft will wait more than 1440 minutes to announce the Series X price after the PS5 reveal. We're a couple days after. Have we heard that price yet?
Nope.
Haven't heard a thing. And look at this. A lot of people jumped on it. Massive amount of Don bucks. A lot of people believed in this one at 3-1 odds. Those odds made them believe, I think.
They all were convinced. Microsoft playing mind games with the contestants.
With the carrot on the stick, leading us along further down the trail. Who knows when they're going to reveal that Xbox price, but we'll all be waiting feverishly. Now let's circle back around, Huber, before we get to this last bet, the number 9, which is oh so interesting. Let's look at a real quick rundown of the subtotals. Where are we at? Brad, proven winner, right up at the top of the pack again, coming into the home stretch. What else do you see here, Michael?
You know, Brad's won it before, and here he is again, out in front. Close behind, though, you have Damiani with 2,700, Ben with 2,400. Really, really close together. Blood surprising me, but never count him out, Don. He is a crafty one.
I always believe in Blood, and the pack is pretty tight right here, so I think just about anything can still happen right here on the final stretch. Now, this next one started out as a bit of fun, a wild prop bet. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it would sort of take on a life of its own. What happened on this when we presented it? Everyone wanted in.
You cannot deny the allure of Knack. Knack will show up.
Not even, 60, 90 seconds in, we're seeing this montage, and lo and behold, it didn't take long.
Who shows up? Knack. I mean, this is a PlayStation event. Knack is the absolute face of PlayStation.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have an event without inviting him, and we're all the wiser for it. Now look at this. We gave 8-1 odds on this. Everyone wanted in on the action. Massive
Everyone
payday.
Except Ben. Will this cost him?
Everyone else put cash on this. How much are they going to pull out of this Knack wager? Look at these massive payouts off of this single bet. Blood went in big. Look at Blood. We're seeing action all across the board on this bet. An absolute game changer. How is this going to affect things? We're going to see momentarily.
We're still reeling from the Knack bet. The totals are coming in, but before that, we still have the Parlay and the Longshots.
Yeah, how did those work out for everyone? Did anyone get a long shot? I know we had some controversy about the odds. Some people were saying we went too low on Dragon's Dogma. Some we went too high on Final Fantasy. Hey, look, bookies aren't perfect. These are opportunities for people to jump on it.
Yeah, these things change by the second. And at the end of the day, in this case, it doesn't even matter because none of the long shots came through, as did the parlays. Nobody hit the parlay, which really hurts my heart and soul. Ben, Brad, and Damiani, like heroes, let it ride on the parlays, but unfortunately, it didn't pay off, Don.
Sometimes heroes live by the sword and they die by the sword, Michael, and in this case, it got quite bloody, and they all took some serious damage. Let's see how bad it got. Ouch.
Huge damage here. Ben losing $1,000, Brad losing 1,500, Damiani, no small number, with 650.
Just a massive shot to their bankroll. Ben, hitting on the number 1 and 4, but then the solid state drive sunk his ship. And very similar, Damiani hit with 6 and 9. Knack showed up for Damiani, but that free next gen game presented a problem. And for Brad, Silent Hill, his heart was crushed. And along with that, 1,500 Don bucks. That hurts.
If you're gonna lose it, you might as well lose it all on Silent Hill.
Damiani, though, Michael, taking the least of the damage, 650. Let's see if he can weather the storm.
Let's go over the contestant totals.
Here it is. Here's how it all shook out.
Wow! Damiani holding strong right up until the finish line, and Jones just unbelievably close there, but couldn't quite catch him.
So here's the thing now. This is important. Look at these totals of Don bucks, okay? Now these amounts are going to carry on to the next betting special, okay? So look, some people are going to have a little more leverage than others when it comes to the next betting special. So this is important to remember, okay? All right, Huber, it's just about time. We're now going to break it down by teams, see the team total, and see who is opening up their envelope to reveal the high stakes. Okay, as you know, we got Blood, Brad, and Damiani in my corner. You got Ben, Ian, and Jones. Here you see the final amounts, and it's looking like it might be pretty close, but not quite enough.
My envelope, unfortunately, will stay sealed until I get a shot at redemption. Tell me what I gotta do, man.
We'll have to let those high stakes continue to simmer. In the meantime, Huber, let me open up these high stakes right here, and I will read you your fate. Now, I tried to find something, Huber, here in this wager that wouldn't be a miserable punishment for you. It would be something enjoyable for both of us, okay? A little bit. I know you're a big Batman fan, and as you may know, Batman Returns is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
so
yes.
I thought of this rather unique wager, which reads: write and perform a deleted scene from Batman Returns. Okay, Huber? So this has to be a scene that would fit in with the lore and with the story, perhaps a scene that they cut out that I would find on my beloved Blu-ray special bonus disc. You come up with this, you will perform it and act it out. This performance can take place during our first group stream when we return to the studio, so that all of the allies can sit back, relax with some popcorn and Twizzlers, and just enjoy the show, Michael.
All right, I better get to writing. And that's going to do it for the PlayStation 5 Reveal Event Betting Special Results Show.
Thank you, Michael. It was a lot of fun. I think I'm going to go hit the beach and relax a little. And to all the contestants who we owe some Don Bucks to, Your check is in the mail.